Freedom fighters, I'm coming back at you with another one, and this one's going to be special. I've ensembled one heck of a cast here, and I'm just going to let it out of the bag. We got former and upcoming President Trump on the line to give a interview. We got a bunch of senators, governors, 2A advocates, all of that we're going to be talking to here. So, without further ado, I'm just going to open it up to President Trump. Mr. Trump, how are you?
Great to be with you, freedom fighter, and your great audience of patriots. You're highly respected bigly. I'm a big fan of your show. I've been watching you do great things. Let me shout out your social media.
Freedom Fighter 1861 on YouTube and Rumble. We love Rumble. YouTube, not so much. Fighter 1861 on Twitter, X, as they call it. We love X. We love Elon. And last but not least, Freedom Fighter 1861 on Truth Social. Truth Social, the voice of the people.
It's the truth. What can I say? I made it. It's the greatest ever, the best ever, they said. They say that.
That's great, man. Thanks for the shout out. I really appreciate it. But on to the questions, man. I've got some, tough questions. I'm going to be a tough interviewer today and put you on the spot and hopefully get some answers out of some stuff.
Sue, I know all about tough. I'm the epitome of tough, so go ahead and ask your tough questions. That's okay. I like tough. I'm tough. I got shot, like 50 Cent. We love 50, 50 loves me. I am so tough the bullets just bounced off like bing, ding, ping, 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 pong, pew.
So one of the main things I wanted to talk about, obviously, on this channel, we're free speech advocates and Second Amendment advocates. Number one and number two is the main thing. I and many people in this community are one issue, single issue voters on the Second Amendment. So we definitely want to talk about that. And in a recent video I think I called it "When They Come for the Guns," but one of your supporters that you sat down with and had dinner with, Nick, recently had a event happen at his house where, he was confronted by someone, a leftist, and, a lot of this stuff has been happening. I'm not sure if you're aware, but he got into a little confrontation. They're investigating him and all this stuff. But anyway, basically what it led down to is Owen Schroyer posted a video as well saying that the same thing happened to him. I'm not sure about the specifics in his case, but he said he was disarmed for a year. While they were investigating his case, they took his guns. He said, they didn't care that he was getting threats and all that. They just left him defenseless and confiscated his firearms until the conclusion of his case. And I guess the point I was getting to, or that I was trying to make or ask you about, was in that video, I said, I was honing back to another video I saw that was called, "When is it okay to shoot the cops?" Or when is it okay, to shoot the authorities? And that's what I wanted your opinion on. What do you support? Because your supporters are out here getting disarmed on the daily. That's what we cover here. And if anyone's new here, I cover current news, current events, politics, ideological debates, stuff like that. This is a vlog, on YouTube, Rumble, Truth Social, X. You all heard that President Trump gave the shout out. But, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, and your opinion on that stuff. You mentioned, plenty of times where you're a stark advocate of, the Second Amendment, but I've heard you flip-flop here and there throughout your presidency. You also put forth, the red flag law legislation, the bump stock bans, stuff like that. You've even hinted, at further restrictions and stuff before about, certain things, automatic weapons. I think you made a comment about suppressors and stuff like that, which we've all talked about before on this channel. But, you also talk a lot about lawfare and corrupt law enforcement, deep state government, all this stuff like that. But, at least from my point of view, you fail to see how this is used. And I mean, you are now fully seeing it. Now that you are a convicted felon, and you are seeing firsthand how you've been disarmed or supposedly disarmed. I mean, I don't know. But regardless, you have a team of, the Secret Service and armed guardsmen to protect you. Us little peasants, the plebs out here, we don't have private security. We can't afford guards 24/7. Nick was talking about that in one of his videos, that he's had to hire security now and he can't afford 24/7 security. But anyway, and you've talked about, different situations and stuff like that. And my question to you is, like, what if Owen or Nick were to, when they came, Owen, let's talk about Owen, since he actually confirmed this is what happened to him. We're not sure, if Nick even owns firearms, if they confiscated his firearms or whatnot, but Owen for sure said that they did this to him. What if Owen were to say, no, it ain't gonna happen? As our community likes to often say, come and take it. From my cold dead hands, you are not getting this. Well, that we know what would happen to Owen. He'd be dead. And this is often why, people obey or just go along with the tyranny, because they know the end goal. The police are there following orders. They don't care. They're just doing what they're told to do. And when they're serving a warrant or whatnot, they just do as they're told. And when they're told to go there and collect firearms, that's what they do. And as we saw in that ATF Brian Milanowski raid, the same thing. And my question to you, President Trump, would you have been in support of Brian Milanowski opening fire on those agents, those tyrants, those redcoats, enforcing gun legislation, unconstitutional gun laws? Would that have been something you would be in support of, or would you be backing the blue? Would you be saying, oh no, the ATF agents, the heroic ATF agents doing their work that day, sadly came upon fire by Brian Milanowski while they were doing a pre-dawn raid, to get information on his, I think he was doing gun sales or something like that, but, or would you have been in favor of that? Or would you have been on Brian's side? What about the Waco siege? Collecting firearms there. Would you have been in support of the Branch Davidians? I've noticed recently you've mentioned about cutting the IRS spending, or even getting rid of IRS, maybe taking out the income tax and, stuff like that. And I think that's partially what they got you on. I guess it was fraudulent filings or something. I mean, who knows and who really cares, because all these agencies shouldn't even exist, right? IRS, ATF, feds, these are all counterintuitive agencies towards freedom. These are actually anti-freedom agencies that, put the boot on the neck of the people. You can't be free with these people roaming around, collecting money and taking firearms. All this stuff is counterintuitive to freedom and against the Constitution. But let's say, you decide to abolish the IRS. Well, the previous administration has given them lots of money, and they've been arming up. Well, what are they arming up for? Many channels have asked this question. And, if they were arming up and the IRS was coming in to get you or your sons or anyone else and they opened fire on people, unrightfully coming into their property to collect money, is that something you're in support of? What about a scenario where the government shuts down because of a mad scientist creating diseases in a lab somewhere that gets let out. And then, shutting down the public, shutting down small business. In some countries, not in America, but they were literally hunting people down, saying, here's a picture of you. Actually, I think that might have been in California. Here's a picture of you surfing in the ocean without a mask on. Here's you playing with your daughter on a baseball field, doing baseball practice, and, no public outings. And the police, once again, just following orders, and kidnapping these people, putting them in cuffs, throwing them in a car for disobeying orders. Sure sounds like America, the home of the, brave, the land of the free, home of the brave. Are you in support of these people defending themselves and not getting, taken hostage and kidnapped by badge tyrants? Is that something you're in support of? Well, anyway, I got some other people I want to ask here. Let's bring forward Ron Desantis, another 2A advocate, governor of Florida, who recently, we've done some videos on this about his permitless carry that he's done down in Florida. And I personally wanted to bring him on here, talk to him about that policy. And that it appears to only be, it's handguns only that you can carry without a license. You still can't open carry, which sounds like an infringement to me. So I'd like your answer on that, Ron. But I'm not sure if you're aware of this other channel, the Florida Fisherman, who's done lots of videos, carrying rifles, carrying guns, that he's been arrested multiple times. And I want to ask you, like I asked President Trump, would you be in favor of the armed fishermen opening fire on these tyrants when they try to deprive him of his rights and civil liberties? Or would you be in favor of the police? Would you be, running the headline of, you're so sad to hear that Officer John Doe got put down in the line of duty while acting like a tyrant and confiscating firearms and trying to kidnap, whoever disobeys thy law? I'd like your opinion on that. And, on to another one. We have guest Colion Noir here with us. Everyone give a round of applause here. We all know him in the community. A NRA spokesperson. He runs his YouTube channel, 2A advocate, and I believe a lawyer, 2A self-protection lawyer. I'm not sure if he's USCCA sponsored, which I'll have to get it. That's a whole nother video right there. But, I think I've done videos with on Colion before where, he's getting in line a little bit. He's even done comedy sketches of, FUDs and hunters, stuff like that, where he kind of picks out that, it's not about hunting. But I've also heard him in previous videos that I'm sure I picked at him before, where he says, it's for self-defense and law-abiding citizens. So he still believes you have the ability to be disarmed. If you're suddenly not one of these magical law-abiding citizens that he speaks of, he believes that you could be disarmed. So that's what I'm asking you here, Mr. Colion. Do you believe in disarmament? Do you believe the citizenry or a person can be disarmed of their rights? And, that's going to bring me to, last but not least, former Governor Mike Huckabee Sanders. We've talked to him before, or I've talked about him before. I've done videos. But, I'm pretty sure I've harped on his commercial before, where he talks about, it's a kid's book, and he said, we're teaching the kids that where rights really come from. And the rights don't come from government, they come from God, which I absolutely agree. And then, I've seen other bits of him where he seems to be a pretty staunch supporter of the Second Amendment. But then I was tuning into his show one day after a unfortunate event. It was a shooting of some kind. I can't remember which one it was. But he gave a monologue where he was saying, well, it's the person, not the gun. And unfortunately, this person was already a prohibited possessor, so gun control laws don't work. Well, explain to me what a prohibited possessor is, because if rights come from God, as you expressed, if man didn't giveth, man can't taketh away. So, that's what I'm getting to here with Mike Huckabee. So I'd like you to explain, further explain your stance. Does rights truly come from God, or do you believe, a governor, a senator, a badge, a robe, some cop, some judge, the king's men, the guards, whatever? Do you believe they can dictate policy and hand out law? Or do the people always have the right to possess arms? So, man, this is kind of what I was getting at. This is just, something I wanted to mix up and start the conversation here. We talked about it a lot, but that's ultimately what I wanted to get to, man, is God-given rights and your ability to defend yourself against tyranny. That's what it's about. It's not hunting. It's not, even self-defense. It's not for law-abiding citizens. It's not, for any of that. It's everyone has the God-given right to possess arms and ultimately in the defense of tyranny, to live free, to, to defy what a government or officials say. Again, when Ron Desantis or any of these guys say, oh, we gave you the right to carry, permitless carry, you always had that right. MTG was another one who did the same thing, going on about, Georgia's now permitless carry and all this stuff, and we're so great, look what we did for you guys. You've always had the ability. And for the states that don't have the ability, again, always check with your local and state laws, but you know the deal. You know what we believe in here. And those governors, and all these advocates, if you were to fire upon the tyrants enforcing those laws, where would they lie? Where would they stand? Would they be back in the blue, or will they be back in you? So that's where I'm going to leave it at today. And as always, you know what it is, man. We are on our own. Nobody's coming to save us. So get right with God, because only God can save you. Freedom Fighters out.